Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Okay, so it's time for another use it or lose it crafting project. If you are new to my channel, at the beginning of the year I put a bunch of stuff that's been in my craft stash for years into a box, and each use it or lose it video I'm going to pull something out of the box and use it, and whatever is still in the box at the end of 2024 has to leave my house, either get donated or thrown out or rehomed in some way, but it's gone at the end of 2024. So I pulled this out of the box because it's just easier than pulling the box onto the desk, because the box is a good size box. So we're gonna just go through this and see what's in here and try and use at least some of this stuff. Probably not all of it in this video because it's a big stack. These guys are pretty much done. I think I did them for an ATC challenge, like on a message board, which is years ago. So these really just need to get put somewhere where I can incorporate them into another project. So I'm gonna set those aside. These guys, I think I may try using, I think these are left over from a like mosaic card that I made, where I created a background and then cut it up and put it on a card. And I think I may see about incorporating these into my spring tab-bound booklet, because I have to fill the pockets on that, so I might be able to do something with that. So we're going to set this aside for my next video. So not yet using stuff, but going to use stuff. These are left over from when I was making cards for Operation Right Home, which was an organization that collected cards to send to our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I think that organization stopped doing, taking donations and stuff in like 2013, maybe 2015. So this has been sitting in my stash for a decade. And I think this is going to continue sitting in my stash. I don't think I want to play with these today. All right, these are just scrap pieces of paper that need to go into a scrap box. I have the rest of this paper pad, and I think I'm going to put it back with the paper pad and then maybe do some whack and stacks with these guys. So we're going to set that aside. And this actually, I think, came from the paper pack as well. So that's going to go with that paper pad to be used. These are just straight up card bases, but what I'm thinking is they could become pockets in a journal with a hidden journaling spot in them. So we're going to use these today. And this was going to be an Operation Right Home card, and I saw this idea somewhere that basically they stamped the background with the stamp and then put a piece on top where they stamped the image again and colored it in. So this was the prep work for that. And I'm not feeling red right now, so this is going to go back into the little envelope. So the stuff we don't use today is going to go back into the envelope and back into the box to be used. This I'm also going to set aside to use to create some bases for stuff in my, I'm pointing that way because it's sitting on my desk over there, the tab-bound booklet. Let's keep that out. That, I think, is going to go back in the little sleevey thing. These are inky backgrounds that I created with, like, paint on tags. That we're going to use. This is a Lily of the Valley stamp, and I don't know if this is a Lily of the Valley or if it's Riley and Company, but it says, it doesn't show up very well because I stamped it in too light of a color. You and I are more than friends. We're like a really small gang. So that I'm going to set aside. I think I might try using that as a card for a friend's birthday. These are some backgrounds that I created using shaving cream and re-inkers and stencils. And That one I'm going to set aside because it's a Christmassy background, but this one I think we're going to use today. Metallic die cuts using, I think this is a border punch, and I just punched it down one side and then flipped and punched it down the other. They're gonna go back in. Not feeling seashells right now. Let's pull this one out. That I think is gonna go back in. This is a peacock and an embossed feather background. That this was, again, cards, and I think this is a Hero Art stamp. And I gotta go let a dog in. I'll be right back. This I got in some kind of swap because the person did a wax resist, paper resist, and I'm supposed to sponge dye inks over the front to see design appear. So let's play with that today. Another leftover cardy bit. I think these two pieces are gonna go back in. Another card. Another card. Is this one actually a card? Yes, it is. So let's pull those out. This is an embossed piece I got in like a swap. Let's keep him out. This I did with modeling paste and a stencil. I don't know how well it's showing up. That's gonna go back in, I think, as is this card, because this I think actually just needs new gems added to it to repair it, and it can be an actual card that I send to somebody. So I think I'm going to stick that back in to just set aside for later. And another random leftover card base. So we're going to play basically with the card bases today. I'm going to set aside the little envelope. We cut that back down about a half. So let's set aside the bigger guys for a minute and look at these guys. Let's start with these, because I figure I can decorate these up to go into my bee journal, because it's got the little yellow sunflowers on it, and this with a little antiquing would work great for the sewing journal. So I think that's what we're going to start with, is these guys. I'm gonna grab a piece of paper out to protect my desk, grab a brush, and go to town inking this to mute it down a little bit. And I'm gonna start with, and you know, if you've been on my channel at all, you know I'm gonna grab antique linen and start with that. So there you can see the difference between the two, maybe. It definitely mutes it down, and I think I may come back in with some tea dye and do that as well. I've just grabbed some tea dye distress ink, and I'm gonna go ahead and darken it up even more, because the sewing journals I've got have kind of like an antique-y patina to them, so how this paper was before was way too bright. And I think I am gonna come in with Victorian Velvet along the edges. And heavy on the edges, like not just a little at the very edge, but like coming in some onto the page. There we go. I like that much better. Now I'm going to pull out my bits and bobs for decorating from my various digital sewing kits. All right, this is a printable by Abrotique, and it needs antique linening to mute out the white. I don't remember if that's my Porch Prints or Liana Scraps, and this is Liana Scraps. I'll leave links to the digitals down below in case you're interested. But this is, use whatever bits and bobs you've got to decorate your stuff. So basically this is going to be we're going to end up creating, you know, pockets. I think a few of these are going to get cut down maybe into tags. And some journaling cards for present and future journals. And I've got a bit of the sewing pattern paper left over, and I'm thinking I might put it straight on there. Okay, I kind of like that. Let's I think we're just gonna go ahead and put that on. I'm gonna use some matte medium. I'm gonna grab a silicone brush thingy. I'm actually just gonna put a couple dots straight on and we're gonna smooth this out. Start adding the piece down. Definitely gonna need to come in and add more. This is the I don't feel like getting out of palette, so I'm being lazy. Woo! Method of doing it. All right. Let's give this a second to dry, and while that one's drying, we'll work on the composition on this one. Let's do the ladies. Let's do, I think I'm just gonna do it fully up the side like that, and the ladies can go like that. I think I want some, I was thinking antique book page, but now I'm thinking maybe some lace. I've got scrappy lace over here. I don't think I want quite that much of the lace. Let's trim that off. I just want a section of this. To go kind of up there. Do I do it on top? Definitely behind, but you know what? No, not loving that. Let's see, do we like that a little better? All right, I think we're gonna massacre this poor piece of lace. We're gonna go like this. And have this go down the side, because I think that works better. And I'm pulling this up because I'm gonna get like a label to go down here. And then I still feel like it's still gonna need something, but let me find the labels I want. Okay, I keep misplacing this set of labels. They're from the Junk Journal Studio. And this is from the Pink and Turquoise set, so her new pastels, which I am loving. All right, let's find something. Haberdashery department. I think that goes there, and then a little something up there. Now let's audition these guys, see which one we like. 2 for $1.25. Revised.
think we're gonna go with that because of the contrast. All right, let's put these away and all right, so let's shift everybody over. Let's trim this down to size. Edges need inking. Brown for this. And that's not the way I wanted to go on. This one, I think I'm gonna go with the pink of Victorian Velvet. Give it a little color. Let's figure out our placement. Oops, let's not lose our pieces. That's gonna go like that. So about there is where we want our lace to go. Okay, so just on the edge there, okay? Let's grab, I'm gonna use FabiArtStudio for this. I think I need to add some acetone to my FabiArtStudio because it is not flowing easily, or I'm clogged again. All right, and I'm gonna use it on the back of this just to help it stick down since we're gluing it on top of the lace. You definitely need to declog the sucker. There we go, and then that can glue down onto a page. Oh, like so. Oh, I thought the opening was on this side. Okay, it's on that side. So it can glue down on a page, and if you glue it down just on these three sides, it can be a top loading pocket, or just on these three sides, a side loading pocket, and have plenty of journaling space inside. So that's what I'm gonna do for that one. This guy's dry. Let's pull. And I did not get that on straight at all. Do we want to use the rest of this lace? Across the bottom, like so. I think so. Might as well use it up, but definitely feel the need for a label. Smaller version of that one. I think I like that, but I also think I want something going there. I think my FabriTac will hopefully flow a little bit better now. I took a break to add some acetone to it. So yeah, that's one thing with FabriTac. It will eventually get, like, it thickens in the bottle. And so if you just add some acetone to it, it will help thin it out. And not nail polish remover, but pure acetone, which you can actually get at like a drugstore, grocery store, you know, wherever you would get nail polish remover. You should also be able to find pure acetone. So I just have a bottle of it that I use to add to thin out my FabriTac. All right, so that one's done. While I was waiting for my FabriTac to thin out, I went ahead and pulled out some stuff to go on these guys. So these are Liana Scraps, and this is the Junk Journal Studio, the yellow and purple pastel labels. So I grabbed those out, but I want to put a piece of antique book page on as well. So let's grab a piece of that, and I am gonna tear off. Let's move this out of the way. Yeah, you can tell it was an antique book no one ever read because the pages were still sealed together. And I'm just going to, let's see. Let's take the top off. And the bottom off. And these are going to go in a bin behind me for stamping on. And then we're just gonna kind of go like so. Do that. That. And you can't see any of the torn edge. That was not well planned out. All right, I'm gonna set that bit aside to use on another piece, the other one of these. And we're gonna go like so, I think. Yeah, like that. And then that label will go there. And this label will go there. And I am going to apply some ink to this to bring it into our yellows. So I'm gonna grab some Fossilized Amber and a brush. Probably should have added some brown to that edge. Too late now. All right, I'm gonna grab Vintage Photo for inking the rest of my edges. All right, that one's done. And let's pull this one over, because this one I was gonna put book page on as well. And then this time we'll actually see it. That, and this is the leftover scrap from Monday's mass make. Actually, I was thinking I'd do it on top. All right, let's cut this piece down to size. It'll make it easier to visualize what we're doing. So I'm gonna do that. And I wanna do that on top, but I think I'm gonna make this more like that. Maybe cut it off here. So it goes on like so. He'll go like that. And I'm gonna grab a couple labels. I think I like that to go there. You know what? I think I may grab my faux antique tape to put across the bottom of that. We are going to ink this. Let's move stuff out of my way. We're gonna Distress Oxide ink that in Fossilized Amber. And this time we're gonna remember to ink our edges. And I'm using Vintage Photo. Just be very careful when inking antique book page because you might rip it. And then on this guy, I'm gonna pull out my antique linen and go over him to knock back the white bits. I'm just gonna be very careful around his antennae. All right, just gonna grab us a piece of alcohol ink dyed tape, and I'm just gonna cut a piece off. And add it right there. All right, that one's done. All right, so I think I want to work on this one next. And first because it's too big to go on a journal page because it is 6.5 by 5. It's a little large for a journal page. What I'm gonna do is cut it in half, which would be 2.5. Yes, no. Yeah, no, width-wise it was 6.5, so that's 3.25. Let's cut the sucker in half. And I want to dull down the copper metallic in the background. And it's actually a textured. I'm wondering, let's try. Experiment on this one. I've got some Distress Crayon and Walnut Stain, and I am gonna do this. And then take my finger, kind of smush it around. See if I can get it into the crevices. Well, it's a little duller, but that was not Did not work as well as I was hoping it would. All right. Well, for this one, we're going to use the crayon. Just trying to smush some of it into the crevices of the texture paper. All right. And I am going to ink over the blue too to tone that down as well. Let me rinse my finger off and I'll be right back. So yeah, let's try doing it with a cloth. And I think I'm taking more off than like getting rubbed into the crevices, but that's as good as that one's getting. This one I'm going to grab some alcohol ink in Mushroom. Get the mushroom open. Yeah, it's definitely duller than it was, but we're going to add a little bit of and yes, it's getting on my regular paper, but that's all right. We'll do something with that. I think I may do a few just straight up dots of it. Here and there and there and there. Just kind of let them spread around a little bit. Just kind of making it look a little bit more intentional that I've got smush on here. There we go. I think I like that better. That works. And another thing I think I'm going to do. All right. I have no idea where I have the Tim Holtz. I got the round sanding discs for using with the like same handle, you know, the round handle thingy. That was so inarticulate. So I bought the Tim Holtz sanding discs, the Ideality sanding discs, but I have absolutely no idea where I put them right now, and I don't feel like hunting for them. I'm gonna cut these down into a tag shape and use an emery board instead. Because if you don't have the sanding disc, you can use an emery board to rough up your edges. And so I'm just gonna starting and doing the most at the edges, but then you can come in and rough up spots on there. All right, so we've got a few spots scratched up. What I'm now gonna do is take a dauber and some Scorched Timber and ink up. You know what? Let's clear off some of this dust first. Now let's grab some Scorched Timber and come in and grungy up our edges and those spots that we sanded. So yeah, the metallic cardstock doesn't have a lot of tooth to hold ink, but by sanding it, I took off the finish and now it will hold ink better. So there we go. We've got two grungy hidden journaling spots tag bases. So let's go ahead and decorate these guys. So I pulled out a Tim Holtz person. So I think I'm going to use him there. And these are some of the gears I made. Doing faux rust. The faux rust technique. Add those to this. And I'm not loving how shiny he is. So I think I'm gonna give him a coat of matte medium, which should dull him down. And I'm just gonna rub it on with my finger. We're going to set him aside to dry while we finish figuring out what we want to put over here. Actually, no. We're going to keep him on here so that I can figure out. I think I'm going to put a gear in his hand. I want more inking on there. So I'm going to grab a brush. Scorched Timber Distress Oxide, and Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous Clockwork. It's THS013 stencil. Oh, that'll be perfect right there. And we're gonna just stencil this on. All right, so putting it on with my fingers is not the best idea. Well, actually, part of it is it's not dry yet, and my fingers keep sticking in it. Because, yeah, I've got smushiness all over him when the light hits him. So I think I may go back and do another coat of the matte medium. Maybe I'll wait until we glue everything down and do another coat just to kind of even him out. But I think I want to stick him on a label. And this is the Junk Journal Studios labels from days gone by. Just the regular vintagey one as opposed to the pastels, which I used on the other pieces. And we're going to ink our edges. I think that's going to work. No, it is not. I need something smaller. All right. We're going to go with this. And this is from Love Junk Journals. Yeah. It's a Love Junk Journal kit. I forget the name of it. I will leave it listed down below. So let's go ahead and glue this stuff down. All right, I think that one's done. I'm gonna go back off camera and do another coat of the matte medium over top just to smooth it out, because yeah, I touched it too soon and got like fingerprintiness going on. And then let's get this guy done. I think it needs, what does it need? You know what, let's pull in some more gears. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of inking. First, we're gonna antique linen this guy to get rid of the white. Then I'm gonna take this guy and grab some Distress Oxide. We're gonna start with Peacock Feather, which might be a little too bright, but let's see where it gets us. Oh no, I think that's gonna work. Because then I'm gonna come in with some Frayed Burlap. Tone it down, and I think that's gonna work so much better. Yeah, I like that. And now we're gonna ink edges of this piece. And I'm using the dauber for Scorched Timber. Getting very inky on my edges. All right, I think we're gonna stop there for today, just because I would really like this video not to be ridiculously long and take me forever to edit. So let's see what we got done. So we've got our 2 card bases turned into sewing journal pockets with hidden journaling spots. So when I glue this in the journal, I'll glue it down so that either the top or the sides open so that you can tuck something in, and then you've got a spot where you can journal. We've got 2 bee themed hidden journaling spot pockets. And then we've got 2 steampunky tag with journaling space. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.